Hi, good evening, everyone. But today we are beginning with a very important concept, which is called as perfect Bayesian equilibrium. थोड़ा समझते हैं, हाँ. This is very difficult, so we will go step by step. देखो इसमें क्या करना होता है. It is a sequential game. It is a sequential game. But with incomplete information and conditional beliefs. Sequential game with incomplete information and conditional beliefs. क्या मतलब है इसका? So you would remember that we have already done games in which nature assigns the type of player one. Nature बताता है कि जैसे for example we have done gift game, है ना? In that gift game, nature was telling whether player one will be friend or enemy, right? And then player 2 had to decide whether to accept or reject the gift, whether to accept or reject the gift. But जब player 2 decide कर रहा था, when player 2 was deciding whether to accept or reject the gift, player 2 did not know about the type of player 1. उसे ये नहीं पता था कि क्या player 1 friend है या enemy है, right? And what we had done earlier, जो हमने अभी पहले वाले lectures में किया है, what we have done earlier, that was basically where we were assuming that there was simultaneous decision making involved. That was a simultaneous decision making involved. माने एक साथ player 1 सोच रहा था, player 1 was deciding whether to give the gift or not give the gift, and player 2 was deciding whether to accept the gift or reject the gift. It was simultaneous game. But now what we are doing is, it is what is called as a sequential game. अब जो हम देखेंगे this time, that is going to be a sequential game, right? Now what happens in a sequential game? What happens in a sequential game is that अभी भी player 2 does not know whether he is friend or enemy. But player 2 knows the action of player 1. Okay. So now what we are saying is that it's a sequential game. And in this sequential game, player 2 still doesn't know whether player 1 is friend or enemy. ये बात उसे अभी भी नहीं पता कि player 1 friend है या enemy. But now what has happened is, now he has observed the action of player 1. माने अब he is able to see कि okay, player 1 is giving the gift or not giving the gift. This action is observable. वो ये action observe कर सकता है, right? And then he has to make a decision. So in that sense, it has become a sequential game, that first I will see whether he is giving the gift or not giving the gift, and then I will make my decision. Now in this case, what happens is that we have prior belief and posterior belief or conditional belief or updated belief. ठीक है, तो अब क्या होगा ना, what will happen is that player 1, हमें पता है that with probability p, nature ने player 1 को friend बनाया था, and with probability 1 minus p, nature ने player 1 को enemy बनाया था. So nature had made player 1 friend or enemy. This was the prior belief, beta. This was the prior belief. But now what is happening is that player 2 को पता है कि ठीक है, with probability p, player 1 is friend. With probability 1 minus p, player 1 is enemy. इतना player 2 को पता है. Player 2 knows this thing. This is his prior belief. But now what has happened is that player 2 will observe the action of player 1. Suppose the action of player 1 that he observes is this, that it is GE, give the gift when enemy, and not give the gift when friend. So when he observes the action of player 1, based on the action of player 1, कि player 1 कर क्या रहा है, player 2 will go ahead and it will update his beliefs. कि अच्छा मैं देख रही हूँ, I am looking that player 1 is always offering me the gift. Yeah, always not offering me the gift. So then I will start thinking, अच्छा, he's offering me the gift. Maybe he is enemy. Yeah, okay, he's offering me the gift. Maybe he's a friend. मतलब he will update his belief based on the action. And this updated belief can be shown through the updated probabilities. Through the updated probabilities. Updated probability के through वो अपना updated belief को show करेगा. Right? So, what is an updated belief, beta? कि on the belief that I have reached a certain node, कि मैं यहाँ तक पहुंच गई हूँ, I have reached this node where I am getting the gift when enemy and not getting the gift when friend. Once I have reached this node, then I will go ahead and I will update my belief. Okay, that is updated belief. That is my updated probability. I will show you. अभी थोड़ा समझ लो ऊपर से. Just try to understand this thing. ठीक है. Now this updated belief can be found using the Bayesian probability formula. So we know the Bayesian probability formula, or we know the conditional probability formula, that probability A given B is probability B given A into probability A upon you know this thing, no? So एक बार let me go step by step. So probability A given B can be written as probability of A intersection B upon probability of B. And A intersection B can be written as B given A into probability A upon probability B. So based on number 1, this formula, and number 2, all of you have studied the Bayes theorem. Based on Bayes theorem and based on the conditional probability formula, we will find the conditional probability. We will find the updated probability. Okay? That is what we want to do in this chapter. Okay? Just एक overview I have given you. So what we are doing in this chapter now, we are saying that this is a sequential game. We are saying now that in this sequential game, what will happen is that at the node where player 2 has to act, player 2 will go ahead and form conditional beliefs. Player 2 क्या करेगा? अपने probability को update करेगा based on the action of player 1. He can go ahead and he can form these conditional beliefs based on the Bayesian formula, based on the conditional probability formula, right? And once this has been done, once these conditional beliefs have been formed, then we will go ahead and we will find the perfect Bayesian equilibrium for the game. PBE, perfect Bayesian equilibrium for the game. Is this making sense? Okay. So what I will do is, first of all, I will begin with my own example. And then I will take you through the example of the gift game. Gift game हम next करेंगे. पहले हम एक दूसरा example करके देखते हैं. Let us try to do another example. So this is a game, beta. I will go very slow and you need to understand each and everything here. Here is the nature. Here is player 1. Nature assigns the type of player 1 as low type or high type. Okay. Then player 1 acts. Player 1 can either do strategy R or do strategy L. Right? Can either do strategy R or do strategy L. Then player 2 acts. Player 2 has to decide between strategy U, D, U, D, U, D, U, D. ये हमारा गेम है. एक एक करके हम एक एक चीज को we will try to analyze. First of all, analyze that. So I'm writing the steps here, beta. Nature assigns player 1 as two type, low type और high type. Low type का probability is Q, high type का probability is 1 minus Q. This is the probability assigned by nature. After this, player 1 acts between strategy R or L. Player 1 has to decide whether it should be R or L. Then you reach the player 2's node. Now player 2 is not able to know कि player 1 low type था या high type था. ये player 2 को नहीं पता. But player 2 can observe the action of player 1. Player 2 को ये तो नहीं पता that whether player 1 was low type or high type. But player 2 knows the action of player 1 whether R was chosen or L was chosen. And based on this, player 2 will update his beliefs. He will update the belief. अभी तक उसको लगता था कि with probability Q he is low type and with probability 1 minus Q he is high type. But with time he will be able to tell what this Q and 1 minus Q are based on which node he has hit. क्या वो यहाँ पे और यहाँ पे आया है? क्या वो यहाँ पे और यहाँ पे आया है? Based on what action player 1 has taken, player 2 will update his beliefs. So what we have done is we have assigned some probability on these nodes of player 2 also. That probability is the updated belief of player 2. So यहाँ पर ये updated belief हो गया mu, right? और अगर यहाँ mu है तो this will be 1 minus mu. Here it is beta, and if this is beta then this will be 1 minus beta. So these are his updated beliefs. Now how does a perfect Bayesian equilibrium look like? एक perfect Bayesian equilibrium कैसा दिखता है? What's the equilibrium? How does it look like? That is what the question is. So in a perfect Bayesian equilibrium, we need to tell the following. We need to tell the strategy of player 1 when low type. अगर वो low type है, so out of the two, what will player 1 choose? The strategy of player 1 when high type, the strategy of player 2 when player 1 is low type, the strategy of player 2 when player 1 is high type, and what are the updated beliefs of player 1, of player 2 about beta and mu. What are the values of beta and mu? We need to tell these 6 things. in a perfect Bayesian equilibrium. हमें ये 6 चीजें, we need to tell these 6 things in a perfect Bayesian equilibrium. Is this making some sense? Clear? Okay. Now, how will we solve? अभी तक तो I have just set a base for it. Now let's try understanding how will we solve this game, right? So what we do is, we say, suppose let's say that we are given beta. That means that, so you remember this is a sequential game. And in sequential game, we always go ahead and follow backward induction. तो हमें player 2 से start करना पड़ेगा. So we are assuming that suppose we have hit this node beta. Beta means we have hit this side of the node. Right? Let me just not put so many colors, you will get confused. You know, there will be multiple lines I will be drawing. And therefore, the highlight should be the right ones. Just give me a minute, huh? Okay. Now I'm saying, suppose we have gone ahead and we have hit this node. ये वाला node हमने hit करा है. We are thinking from the side of player 2. So player 2 के पास 2 options are there. Either he can go for U up, U represents up, or he can go for D, which is down. But we are on this side. We are doing backward induction and sequential game है. Player 2 का action हम पहले solve कर रहे हैं. We are solving for player 2's action first. And we are working with beta. Beta means this side, left side. So what will be player 2's expected payoff if he plays up? Up means he will get 0 with probability beta. Beta is his updated belief कि उस ये वाला node hit हो गया है ना? So 0 with probability beta and 1 with probability 1 minus beta. So I've written this. 0 with probability beta and 1 with probability 1 minus beta, and that gives 1 minus beta. Right? Now, what will be his expected payoff if he goes for down? Then it will be either 1 with probability beta and 2 with probability 1 minus beta. So 1 with probability beta and 2 with probability 1 minus beta, and this will give you 2 minus beta. Right? Clearly 2 minus beta is greater than 1 minus beta. This is more than this. It means that the best response of player 2 with the beta node, beta side, should be D. So on the left hand side, I am following backward induction. On the left hand side of the game, if at all player 1 is going for R, if at all player 1 is going for R, the best response of player 2 will be to go for D. Will be to go for D. This is what we have written. Right. Now let us go ahead and understand what happens with mu. So now again I am following backward induction. I want to first solve for player 2 and I am here. I am considering the mu side, right? With this mu side, what is the payoff, expected payoff of player 2 from up? So it will be 2 into mu plus 3 into 1 minus mu. This is what is written here. 2 into mu plus 3 into 1 minus mu. That means 3 minus mu. And what will be his expected payoff from this mu node, given that it is down 1 into mu and 1 into 1 minus mu, right? So we will have 1 into mu and 1 into 1 minus mu. That means you will go ahead and you will have just 1 here, right? Clearly, 3 mu is probability. Probability is between 0 and 1. So clearly, 3 minus mu will be greater than 1. So expected payoff from u is more. It means the best response will be to follow u. Will be to follow u. So अब हमें मिल गया है that player 2 will be going with u if it is low, and will be going with d if it is r. Sorry, whatever this L is. I don't want to say low. अगर ये mu तक पहुंचते हैं, अगर ये mu node hit होता है तो his payoff is more from up. और अगर ये R node hit होता है, मतलब beta node hit होता है, तो his payoff is more from D. Clear? Okay. Now let's think about player 1. So we are following backward induction. हमने player 2 का, we have thought about player 2. Now I want to think about player 1, right? In order to think about player 1 now, we need to go ahead